Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today, I just wanted to make a little E3 preview. If you don't know what E3 is, it's the biggest video game conference in the world. Well, Gamescom, I guess. The biggest video game conference in the United States for sure, where a bunch of video games are often revealed and consoles have been revealed there in the past. There's always surprises. It's a great time. It's a great event. Out of all the events that happen in a given year, it's my favorite one to go to just to see all the monies the companies spend and all the things they break out for the event. And I think the biggest surprises of the year are revealed there, I would say. So that's the cool aspect of it. Great parties too. And I am at E3 currently. If you're watching this video, I'm going to upload it, I believe, on the Monday before E3 begins. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on things that I am personally excited for. I'd love to hear what you're excited for in the comments below. Obviously, this is going to be all of my opinions. So if you're a big Nintendo fan, you're not going to really like this video because I'm not a huge Nintendo fan. That's just one specific example of something that I just generally don't have an interest in. But if you have an interest in it, cool. I'd love to hear what you're thinking below, what you want to see from the press conferences and E3, if that's your thing. If you like E3, I guess I'll just hop into it and say the first thing I'm really looking forward to is what's going to be happening in the world of virtual reality. I know some of you guys might not be interested in virtual reality, but I have a general interest in it, and I was really shocked last year at the amount of money spent in promoting virtual reality. Different headsets. Oculus had a huge setup. Vive had a nice little area. The Sony VR setup was pretty big and pretty close to I believe there's another virtual reality. There was so many I couldn't wrap my head around. I mean, just the amount of money that Facebook spent on this. I assume Facebook spent this money on this Oculus setup. It was like they built a whole neighborhood to house the whole Oculus area. But I'm interested to see where VR is going because I believe this is the future of gaming, or at least a part of the future of gaming. Augmented reality in general is something that's interesting. Who knows what it's going to turn into, what the implications will be in the future, and how it can be integrated into games. I think Vive is a really cool virtual reality system, and I'll be interested to see if there's any. I know they have a new Vive coming out later this year that doesn't have the wires, which would be really nice, and I'd be interested to learn more about that, see if they have any demo pieces on the floor that I could try. And Sony has the VR headset that's kind of affordable, but it doesn't feel like there's as many games for that. I don't know anything about Oculus's release schedule, but if their setup is anything like it is last year, or like it was last year on the floor, I'm sure they will be out in full force. And just in general, I have a general interest in the virtual reality stuff. To get more specific, I like to see what Microsoft's doing with Project Scorpio. They have a big release planned. Their press conference is going to be, for me at least, a must-be-there event, and there's going to be, a whole lot of surprises, I'm sure, but in general, I'm just interested to see what's going on with Project Scorpio. It's been rumored for a long time, and then it was confirmed, and it's talked about, and we know a lot of details about it at this point, and I'm interested to see what's going on with this console. We've been talking about it for so long. I'd like to get my hands on it if possible. Project Scorpio is something I'm definitely interested in. Now, I'd like to go into the games more specifically because those are the two kind of hardware type things I'm interested in. In terms of games, what I would like to see on the floor is Red Dead Redemption 2, but we won't see it on the floor because Rockstar does not do events like this. So I'll have to wait for some more Red Dead Redemption 2 news later in the year. That is the #1 game I am most excited for in life at the moment, but I won't see anything about it at E3. I am 99.9% sure. So in terms of games I will see, I definitely got to get my hands on Call of Duty World War II. Multiplayer will be playable at E3, so my #1 goal is to get my hands on that and play it. It's a really hyped title, and going back to World War II for the first time in, is it over 10 years in Call of Duty? So that'll be really fun, or almost, I think it's almost 10 years, and I'm looking forward to playing that game. Destiny 2 obviously had a huge reveal event. I played Destiny very casually. My interest in it kind of waned by the time that the the level grinding really came into effect with the I don't remember what you call the events where you the looting events or whatever. I'm like the worst video game person. I don't know a lot in general. I feel like I have a general interest in games, but I feel like a lot of you guys can relate to that. I just have a general interest in a lot of games. I don't know everything about one particular game. So I'm interested in Destiny 2 in general, and I liked when they were talking at the conference about the clan system and making it a little more inclusive for being able to meet players. If someone's going to drop out and you want to get someone else in your raid, you can invite them. So I thought that was cool, and hopefully I can get my hands on that game as well. I don't know if it's going to be playable at E3. I don't know if I read any news about that. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is something I'm interested in. I liked Star Wars Battlefront for a little while. My problem with that game is kind of similar to my problem with the first Titanfall game, where I didn't feel like there was a ton there. Like I just kind of lost interest after a while. Really cool concept. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So anything Star Wars, I will instantly be attracted to it and instantly be interested in it. But the game left a little to be desired. So I'm hoping that Battlefront 2 can put a little more meat on my plate. You know, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for some Star Wars content. I'd like a little more meat. Like the card system is supposed to be different, so I'd like that, and I'd like to see what that looks like and play with some new characters and stuff. I'm very interested in Star Wars Battlefront 2, so I don't know how you guys feel about that. Also, in the EA realm of things, the Battlefield 1 expansion should be interesting. I'd like to get my eyes on that. Out of all those games, I would group all those together. Those are the big shooters that are in competition in the AAA market in the fall. I don't know which one I'm most excited for. That sounds like kind of a cop-out. But I guess it would probably be World War II, just because it's, you know, a big splashy thing. But, you know, you don't really know what you're going to get until you get your hands on it. And then even then, I've played games in the summer, and I'm like, wow, I can't wait for this to come out in the fall. And then it comes out in the fall, and it's like, man, maybe I just liked it at that event in the summer because I was with my friends and having a good time, and there were drinks being passed around. So you can't really know until you get your hands on it. I've learned to not overreact to things, and I'm interested in all of those titles. So I know all of those games will be displayed at E3. Also, the sports games I like, Madden, NBA 2K, NBA Live is doing some big stuff. So all of those games will be there, and I'll get to check those out. I always like to see what's happening with those games. There's some games that may or may not be at E3 that I'm interested in seeing. First and foremost, Detroit Become Human. I did not play Heavy Rain. I really need to play Heavy Rain, and that studio in general is interesting to me. I cannot remember the name of the studio that is making Detroit Become Human, but it has Detroit in the name. I'm from Michigan, and if it's coming from a studio that really focuses on story and detail and graphics, I am, in general, very interested in that. I haven't seen a lot about that game. I believe they released a more extended trailer in the fall. Time blends together. I can't remember the last time I saw something new about that game, but I feel like it's not going to come out until next year. It would be cool if they had some more new stuff about that game at E3. I'll definitely be looking for any Detroit Become Human stuff. Days Gone was a Sony title announced at E3 in 2016. It kind of looked like Last of Us, but the guy was a biker, and it was like kind of a demo. It was a thing that kind of threw at the end. Clearly wasn't a game that was ready, but something that the Sony was hyped up enough about to put a preview out for. So it'd be interesting to see more about that game and see if it's a little more, I don't want to use a pun for a game that looks like has cannibals in it, but fleshed out, and see if we can find out a little bit more about that game. I thought it was just an interesting trailer, and I mean, anything that they're going to promote that heavily at the end of their conference last year, they have to believe in for some reason. So I'm interested to see what's going on with that game. Just last little things that I'm interested in. That Spider-Man game that was shown off last year looks interesting. I don't know if we'll see anything about that, but hoping for some more Spider-Man news. Maybe that'll be cool. Maybe that won't be. That's one of those games where I have no idea how I would feel about that once it comes out, but I'm interested in general in learning more about that game. And then I want to see what Bethesda is up to. I feel like they're due to make a major game announcement this year. Maybe a new Elder Scrolls game. Maybe my brother would be really happy. He's a mega fan of the series. But they have Quake Champions going on, so people are going to have their eyes on Bethesda anyway. And I'm just interested to see what they pull out. I feel like if I had to put my money on one studio, like shocking the world with a cool surprise, unless Half-Life 3 is confirmed this year, which, you know, fingers crossed every year. I'm not like a Half-Life fan, but that's the big internet gaming meme. I feel like Bethesda could drop something really cool, so I'll have my eyes on that conference for sure. I I want to go to that conference, but Sunday is so loaded this year. I feel like I will be exhausted by the time their conference is happening, because Microsoft's conference, well, but actually, should I upload this on, yeah, I should upload this on Saturday. I was thinking I was going to upload this on the Monday before E3, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think Bethesda's conference and Microsoft is happening on the Sunday before E3, so I should upload this on Saturday so I don't sound like I'm talking about outdated information. Whatever. I appreciate you guys watching this, and I'd like to know your thoughts on E3 games you're looking forward to for the rest of the year. Like I said, obviously, I really want to see stuff about Red Dead Redemption 2, but Rockstar is a studio that is kind of too cool for the conferences, and I respect that. They sell billions of dollars worth of games anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I'd like to know your thoughts. So thanks, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you have great days.